the Rebbe read that the bus for if you bet in Amalkus. There's a shot. Some pashto, so the pashto beer is the Yidden number Vakish, the Yivchar Melech. The question is, that Maamar is the Ratzon and Maamar Ratzon by Atzmos. How could Yidden be Maamar? How could Yidden be Maamar by Atzmos or Ratzon in life? Here, this is from Shiur. Here, the Rebbe gives here is that the Leil Rosh Hashanah wird das Gala the Sherish of the Yidden, the Neshamas and Moshe Shnatzmos. That's the Bittul of the Neshama. If they saw me said that there's the Gila of Etzem Neshama, that brings up Shabbos Atzmos, and if they saw me said through that becomes Bidin Amalas. So this is what I'm starting to explain in Sivzai. What's the beer that Mitzadam Shabbos Atzmos through Gila Etzem Neshama? How does that have to do with Bidin Amalas? This is the gives all the riches here that the Sherish and Shamash Yisrael and Atzmos are derech Machshava Atzmos that they get to a Dover Nivda. There is Machshava Atzmos that they get to a mensch likt in a Machshava, etc. He's thinking about himself. Cheshu with the Atzmos. Sheikhah Shamash Yisrael is in the Mashal is the Adam is Cheshu and they get to a Dover Nivda. But that Dover Nivda, this Dover Nivda is emig, takes him fully. A mensch tracht the Gnazach, which is not him, but this thing which is not him, in them liegt elegance. That's what we put this on. There is the Shamash Yisrael Machshava is Va'atzmos Cheshu Va'yochel V'dover Azulas. The way a Metziah, so to speak, nimmt den ganzen the entire Atzmos. So just want to give one little word. Gives a little bit maybe. We'll see later in the Maamar also. This gives a little bit of time. That is actually the first sefer I see in the sefer. It's just one line. The Rebbe says that this chelik test, the sefer of mitzvah. On one hand, the Leil Rosh Hashanah is the seal of all inyan. And Mirach, that means that Mitzad Atzmi, the Etzem is Me'efel, the Mitzad Atzmi, there's no inyan, there's no Melucha, and Midaf Resh Uftan Divin HaMelucha. That's the one hand. Since we're dealing with the Leil Rosh Hashanah is the seal of all inyan, and the Eitzig Ezach, which is the Inyan Etzem, which is mufshet from any Shaykhis to Zulas. So the Meila, the only way with Leil Rosh Hashanah Shvidam Shabbos HaMaavos is through Yivchar, only Mitzad Atzmos. There's Avalik in Me'idah. Listen to this. Die Bader der Eibische sagt immer so von der Malchis, dass jeden mir sollen sein, der ist eine Maamar von Eibische. Ich kann mich nicht erinnern. Als kann mich nicht fährt, durch der mir das Züge Malchis für ihn. Ist doch verständig, als der Yivchar, schon Mitzad Atzmos, kommt aber mit Zeit und durch ihn. Weil das Guf ist einfach für Bechir. What was the Bechir? The Bechir is Atzmos is that a Yid soll im Eibische sein. That a Yid's Bittul, das soll, a Yid's Bakosh, der Eibische wie immer, that should be Mamshach, the Bechira. That Gufa was the Bechira. The Bechira is that Vazalam Nemen a Yid's Bakash. You're the So the Leil Rosh Hashanah is Shas is where you almost go to the Seder Shashmas. So there Shach to say that Aveda Sa'adam is Ma'adir and those Ragas on the Kutz Shal Fi'arech Aveda Sa'adam. The Leil Rosh Hashanah there's a silik of all in that. The only thing is the only, so to speak, Indian which is Risha is only Atzmos which is Mushlo Yikol HaTeir. It's not Shach to say there should be a Metzias, Bittul is Ma'adir. There's only him. There's no Tzvah Metzias. But what's Bchiras Atzmos? The Rebbe says, what's the when we say that in Shamas HaMoshe Shnatzmos, what's made in Shamas HaMoshe Shnatzmos? That guf is Bchira. That a Yid Bakoshe does all ufta B'din HaMicha. That guf is Bachar B'chiras HaChavshis. So it's a Yid take a tutuf from the Kohen. That's guf is Bchira. The Eibush is not mukder any definition. And Oliver saying that a Yid's bittul and a Yid's bakosha, the Eibush should be around does all uftan, or that should bring up in the Bchira. That's machshava atzmi shchesh kaviyach of davar nivdal. But Oliver saying that the bittul of a davar nivdal should be taken. You heard any? You were racist last week, so I'm trying to add some words. You missed it. It's not nachazek. The sin is clear. It's nicht kapashtin. What's the marshal when we say mashal davar? There's something which is not the person, which this Indian takes the person fully, takes the whole person. Cheshin is davar nivdal, but it's not an eifen that his shaykh is the davar nivdal is an eifen of a yeridah. But who atzmi hu cheshin? The davar nivdal nemt the whole of the cheshin, nemt ending ganze. So what is that in the nimshal? That this was the Atzmos is not mukder in any definitions. It's not shaykh to say that he's mufshit. It's not shaykh to say that he's shaykh. there's whatever he wants. That's the. There's no gdar. There's no getter to say that he's mufshit. There's no gdar. There's whatever he wants. Was it take a vote? Was all the Bertzena Atzma is that a Yid's bakasha does all the mamshel say. In them zol. If you say not machshavas and davar niftal means there's him. Here we're saying that the aved of the davar niftal, all the Bertzena that in them zol the ganzer atzmos that should be mamshel the entire atzmos, and that should be the chayfetz atzmos. The chayfetz atzmos is in that a Yid zol the meir. Get the point, David Claudia?
Why does that have to be clear for that thing? Isn't it natural?
What do you mean natural? There's no such thing called natural atzmos. Natural is after there's a system of reality. You could say the system is that this does that.
It's that it's Menasham, or it's
What's the pshat that's Menasham? You see, what's the pshat in Menasham is Rosh Hashanah? That Chiras ha'atzmos was, or the mitzad ha'etzim, which is not defined by any definition at all. The only thing is his ratzon. His ratzon is that a yid's bakashet should be a melech, and that should take him, so to speak. And then that should capture his entire essence. That should capture his entire tank. I'm saying capture is the wrong word. Their barkosha zeis on them, they should take it. You just say the dogma. If someone has a child, let's say, or this as a keshav or ben, so the ben's tzayka to the av is tape is the entire av. That the ben's tzayka touches him. So all the Bertzena Atzma is that what should be mamshachim, and what should be his av, or what should be his sheikh, what should be his cheshech. A yid's aved, that should be his cheshech. That can you say Chiras ha'atzmos. So the answer is they should be given. But that has nothing to do with malchus. So mitzvah that what the omitzias of the yid, the Rebbe that's the omitzias of the yid. What the Rebbe is saying here is that the sherish of neshama yisrael and atzmos is naifim of atzmos cheshech kaviyachol of davar nivda. What does it mean? That davar nivda is all mean. What's mean davar nivda? That the bittul of a yid's bittul as a davar nivda. That does all the Bertzena that should take it. In them zol there's any guys. In a yid's the whole atzmos is connected to a yid. But in what's Fara'if, the Chiras Atzmos was that a Yid's Aveda should be the one that's mamshech, that's so uftan there's that. That's Cheshek Le'achol. Let's see the question. I heard was gesagt, Sie merkt nicht. Huh? Yeah. This is, on one hand, maybe you don't have this, there's much as fun, but maybe it's good to see this. Yeah, is that? No, here the test and something. Yeah, maybe it's good to see it. I think we may see it. We'll see it in the hemshech of this matter, but I'll just hold the name. It's Nitzavim based for the test. Steht in Maamar, der Ewige sagt, sie geht nämlich von Nachricht, die Shloime und von Aleichem, was in dem Set mit zwei Männern macht. Von einer Seite ist verstanden, wie beide haben von Aleichem, dass man erst auftan. Fahrt haben von Aleichem, das kann ich auch nicht gemeldet. So, since it's not a melech, it's not shy to say, even so for say Raveda can impale the should be a melech. The whole musik that Raveda stepes makim is la'ach the Raveda is already a melech, and the darga of Malchus, the Raveda sa'am is stepes makim. But either should have been musik from Malchus. So there's no am. There's no Raveda of that. So how should I say that Raveda stepes makim? From the Raveda from am can only blaze and their darga from melech. But over to Atzmos is his herref in the Malchus. Was learned that man is ufton the Meratzim from Lucha. So it's not just no Metzias of Am. There's no thesis about anything outside of it. But the far Zokim B'Shishon, that's why we say Yivchar. What's the deep of Yivchar? That because he wants. There's no Indian that could take it. That's on one hand. There's no Indian which you say this Indian has the ability to do it. In the diagram of Seder Shalosh, you say in the diagram they should have something to be a melech. So the Kabbalah's ill of the Am affects the melech. The melech has not a sruach mitzad the Aveda Sa'am because there is a reality of the Am. There is a yachas of melech v'am. Through the Raveda nemten. Masha'egen eider shadot tachlichuni. So there's no music it's only him. So therefore, how is he in Yivchar? Or how in the bus part if Bert Am Shachal later Shoshana? As they take the vote. It's not just that there's a mitzias shimvachutz which affects him, which is Maamar. That's the one. Afal became meidach bisa. He bothered the Eibisher zogt im lofanim afis. This Eibisher which is not a melech, what's the Chiras Atzmos? What's the Chiras Atzmos? That the Yidden say Malchus mit dem soll man nehmen. That in them soll sein Geschmack, in them soll sein Teil. You see, you say that what's the Pshat Chira? The Yivchar of Kirasi Achavshis that he should be at the ganze etzem from the should be in the Yid. That's the Pasha said Chira. The Eibishter, what's the Eibishter's Bechilus? That mitzad the etzem of Holocaust. Bachar b'chirasei hachafshis, that his whole etzem should be attached to Yidden. But they're saying the Knei Shis, all of b'chirasei hachafshis, that Yidden's Aveda should be ma'ir, or should take his whole etzem. That's the Bechilus. The Bechilus is as Yidden's Zogen Malchis does all nemen. And not nemen take his Daike Chetzemis. Does all nemen the ganze Primis. In them is the ganze Geschmack von Atzmas. The whole Chayfetz V'Ratzon HaEtzem is in Yidden's Aveda. That's what takes it. That's what's merited, so to speak. That guf is the Bechilus. Not because by definition the bittul of a yid takes it. Such as the same as that there's an am and the am, but it's not an am is me'er namel. There's no am. There's only him which is not defined by anything. What is sein Bechilus? Sein Bechilus is that zeir bittul soll nemen den ganzen. That's the. Die Bader der Eibishter sagt, immer von Mache ist, der Tamachuni wird durch die Ameristische gemacht von Eden, der verstandig als der Yivchar logisch, und der Atzmus kommt mit Zad und durch ihn. Hat sich eigentlich der Eibishter Yivchar, aber kommt mit Zad. The whole Yidden became because of Yivchar. But the Atzmus is no better. In them steht the Yivchar, that a Yid should take. Nor does Guf is an Leben from Kirach. That's verstehen. It's what's the Bechilus that we should be mamshach the Bechilus. That's the Bechilus. So how do we understand it? We say the Bechilus, we only come after the Bechilus. It's in versteht es nicht, that's what they're saying. In them besteht the Bechilus that we should be ma'ir the Bechilus. It's not the pshat that mitzad elukus leicht an ayidin mitzad atzmid in mitzad sheresh in the shamas. The etzem is an ayid. That's not the way. That's not the way yidin amushish. The Bechilus atzmus is that a yid's aveda that should touch him. That should be his inyan. In them zal sein. So a male vert to the Bechilus, a yid that guf is a Bechilus. What besteht the Bechilus? That we should be the ones that awaken the Bechilus. We should be the ones that should be ma'ir time again atzmus.
That's Machshava Asmas?
Huh? I'm saying that could be attached to Machshava Asmas. What's the mashal? The figure says the mashal of a person is chesed davran. It means that there's something which is not you. So usually something which is not you, so there's a person's mohos, and the thing which is outside him is not him. Here we're saying that a person can think about something else, but in Eifin that thing, in them liegt sein ganzes mohos. On other macheshev, this project, let's say, for whatever reason it is this project, in them liegt them kol atzmos mohos. There's someone who has built up, a Meisid, and his whole nefesh is monach in this Meisid. So when you speak about the Davra Nivdal, it's not him, it's not his etzem. But in this, there's a musik of a Davra Nivdal being a gay to a person and an etzem musik. So then, as they say when they get to the Shamas Yisrael, what's the Pshat Shamas Yisrael? The Pshat of the Shamas Yisrael is that the Metzias of a Yid takes him. The Davra Nivdal, in them, in what besteht der Teilung Bechevitz V'Ratzon Atzmus? I'm saying the word Panik Bechevitz, but it's more. Where's the Eibishter? The Eibishter is in the Aveda V'Yid. The Aveda V'Yid, that takes the entire Eibishter. Not that the Eibishter is ain't safe, and he invested himself in the Yid. That's the part of the Chilas Atzmus. He was Veicher that where should he be? That where should he be invested in the Yid? He's saying, what was Chilas Atzmus? That a Yid's Aveda should take him. That a Yid's Aveda should be his, should be connected to his most. That was the Bechilus. So a Yid take a tool of Talmud. How could a Yid do Talmud? The Bechilus has to come before a Yid comes into the picture. That was the Bechilus that a Yid should be the beginning. That a Yid's Aveda should capture. In Vu Nempen, Atzmus is not Nempenished with them was Ervil. What was his Ratzon, what was his Kaplan? That where should he be invested? In a Yid's Aveda. In a Yid's Bittul, Dortmund Zal Erzah. That's the Taish Machshava Asmas Kaviyachol Davran. So I don't know. The figure says it's Kinir B'Chush such a musik that a person becomes so attached to a certain project that becomes his home host. This Davar Nivdal, that becomes his whole etzem host knowledge. That's the mashal for the Sheresh Nisham Yisrael and Atmas. So what does it mean Davar Nivdal? We're not saying Davar Nivdal saying the Eivish is not about him; he's about something else. That what should take him, the Davar Nivdal should take him forward. Whatever attaches here, the bittul of a Yid, that should be his chaypetz v'tani, and that should be his etzem.
Is it the same thing or one comes from that?
I think this is a taich. I think that Azavar, we're going to see it later also. But I'm saying here the aces is sharper aces. I'm saying what the result is that when a Yid's l'chayil, there's one thing the Sheresh Betzim and Shalom Atzmas. There's no metzias, the chatchil the ganzes achazilkus. Fine. The shaila is a Yid's certainly the Eibishter here on the Neshama Beguf. Is the Sven is whatever, and he is machlit that he's mikabel on himself il machul shemayim. Dort gefühlt sich die ganze Leben. That bakasha beitam nechuni, that's ma'er the Yivchar. Yivchar comes before. In them I should ask us that where should it be in what you're taking a Yid Aved. A Yid Gittel does al em. So das nennt em ganzen. Not was nennt Atzvus is not just the Bittel Mufshit. The Aved of the Yid Neshama Beguf, his Kavos Amar Shamayim, das nennt the ganze Letz. How's it say? Kach Bacher. The Bechira was not that he was Bacher, that he should be in the Yid. It's from his point of view. The Bechira was that a Yid's Bittel should capture the full. Zol nem the ganze Letz.
Pretty much the other way around.
No, the Dover Nivdal.
Not that way around.
I'm using the word American, but that a Dover Nivdal captures the entire nefesh. I'm saying this now because the Pearl Rebbe gives a whole. We'll go through this cheshbon. So let's start from Sefres and then some broken complete. This Sefres, it's a start of 11, but really it's a Shlama of the Rebbe said before. We'll see. What's the kasha ask? Start of 11 now, means the fear now. What's the beer the Pasha's told now? That I'm saying for the Ashes of the Maamar is that through this Galus Etzem Anashama, through the Bittul, that a Yid is came in Tzis and Shesel, was the Bittul Pnimi. That's Megal, that's Mamshich, Chilas Atzvus in the Yid. And was Pashet, the Rebbe I'm saying, the Shedish and Shamish, you saw that Atzvus connected to Azulas. I'm just touching this. That Azulas is Bittul meant Emigatz. But let's say the Atzvus connected to Azulas, which is the same concept of Mamas. That's the Mele, Shasvet is Gal Shel Shom in Atzmos. Shasvet Shel Shel. Be careful. The Shasvet is Gal Shel Shom in Atzmos. So then Shasvet is Gal Shel Shom in Atzmos. So then from the Mele, and that's the Nekuda Malchus. Malchus is the kesher of the Etzem and Zulas. So Shasvet is Gal Shel Shom, which is the kesher of Etzem and Zulas. Fine. So according to that comes out that what mitvas vert uvgetamidin amalchus to the bittul prim. But there I said before, he's no mitzias for himself. The ganze Indian is atzvus. So tzarchol l'fiyah now zeh shel kishiv nasein tamchuni aleichem shel kishiv is gadless sherish anasham kishiv shel zba'atzvus shalamayla Indian mitzvahs. Not a mitzvah. A mitzvah is already a system. There's an elyon, there's a tachtin. The whole nekudah mitzvah is that the tachtin is not the elyon. Opposite of what the nekudah of sherish and atzvus. Sherish and there is no mitzvahs. The ganze zach is the eibishas prim. Because one mitzvah is the ratzonality. Here, the Nekudah of mitzvah, there's a mitzvah independent of the Lukus. A davar nivdal. To use the words should be the Hashchat Bar, a davar nivdal. And to the mitzvah, not one of them to do what the Melech says. So the Chura, mit dem wird nicht gemelech. The Kima mitzvah, the Chura, das tut nicht auf Malchus. Because the mitzvah is after he's already a Melech. Lepel ist nicht das. Lepel Keshefer is a mitzvah. Und mit sich Keshefer hing mitzvah. Move and she'it have the Chura, lechem shayach gam mitzvah Keshefer. So I'm saying now, the hemshah before is going to be mitzvah is the nekuda of davar nivdal. That a davar nivdal is mevatel himself, and that's a shaykhus tam nekuda. Because in them, b'shtei the b'chilas ha'etzem, in that a davar nivdal's bittul in them zal sein ganze. Where atzvus is not in hedra mitzvahs. Atzvus is in a mitzvahs mitzvahs zechvar. So how is atzvus there? Kach all that like the b'chilas ha'etzem. That a yid's a davar nivdal's bittul. That should be his whole cheshire time in them zol. That's good for the b'chir. So I say so who heard the atzvus in the headrums? There's no mitzvahs. There's no you to begin with. There's no mitzvahs. They're saying if I cared, where is atzvus invested, so to speak, in a yid being a davar nivdal and being mevatel himself? All the b'chir is that should be his in. Dorten soll say. And the bittul is another aspect. We'll see later. According to that beer, what's the bittul? Well, that's going to be the Israel being beer. If Yunz have been shvach, Mr. Here is a shtick like Dom. If Yunz have been shvach, more the Hemshah Shana now, so that's not the end of the stream. I don't get to want all the Drotim here, but the street targets in the Rotzen of Anoim, the Hemshah Shana. It's Rotzen Goli, Rotzen Elam, the Rotzen Hamuchli, that's Musik. Gil Madre Gisela, the Chlotim, basically. Rotzen Agoli Vanel, I'm standing in the Rotzen. Yeah, I mean, this brings a dogma of Rotzen Lebayis, let's say. So there's three targets in the Rotzen. There's Rotzen Goli, Rotzen Elam, and Rotzen Amokli. So Rotzen Goli, Rotzen Elam are both saying is that a person is aware of the fact that he has a Rotzen. The Nefesh, the way he is Mitzad Atzmei, is not drawn to anything. There's the nefesh, the way it's etzem u'usa. And there it's every yid kol mishen abayis and the others. Every single person the etzem nafshe is muchlat alatzem abayis. But it's not nirgish way. It's not a davar neisav on the etzem. It's not another tnu of meshicha. Adam by definition kol mishen abayis and the others. So an Adam by definition is connected to abayis, but that's not in a way that it feels the a person is conscious of the fact that he has an interest in abayis. Or the Gabi Melech, someone that has the dark of his Snasas Atzmis, is Galus by him, so he's Margish or Rotzin Lamuch. The Gumi France Tvei Darkis is Rotzin, Elam Rotzin Goli, never touches. What's the chiluk when you get to the chiluk to Rotzin Goli, Rotzin Goli? So Rotzin Goli, Rotzin Elam, both are Megillah Beratzim. In other words, it's Nirgash or Rotzin and Nirgash or Meshicha to Bayis or to Malchus. Mashiach, the dark of Rotzin Muchat Atzmus, it's not even of Herdish, it's not even of Gilu. The etzem is higher than Tfisa Herdish, higher than Gilu. Amitis Abshitis, and etzem is attached to bayis, not as. But then there's a ratz nirgash of a shikah tabayis. That's already in Gluim already. And there's two darkness. There is a chiddush in neimu and negei lapad. So one difference is ratz na goli hu b'seir shayich lapad. Ratz na nelam or akheskim sheir shayich lapad. And the chenik b'shem nelam ki unah nelam b'rachim yapad. This is the gemayis. You ask someone if he ratz na goli is a person who wants something. And he can't be still if he doesn't have it. He has an urge for something. He wants it. So if he wants it, now it's nirgash benafshe, a certain urge to a certain thing. Because when he doesn't have it, he's lacking, and he's not going to be enough to shaf. That's the Ratzin Gol. The Ratzin Nelam is only a heskin that he would like to have that thing. The Payil, he's not drawn. He's not looking for it. You say somebody, the Chalash of Yidik Rebbe, that all the B'daita, that it would be good for him to be a Sar, or a Katzin, or a Chisamela, but the Poil, is this Menuch B'Shalom, whatever the husband, this is the experience of Ratzon Elam. You say someone, certain things, you B'Chlam not Eile B'Daz do you want. Yes, someone, would you like to be there, let's face aggressive, what gewollt. The Poil, you're not doing anything about it, you're living relaxed every day. It means that the Ratzon is not in a way that it's pushing you to go get it. You don't feel that. So that's called Ratzon Elam. It's Menuchik from the Keifus. The Ratzon is Nirgash in the Keifus. So the Ratzon urges the Keifus. They go over there and they're not going to be complacent. They're going to go be Derish to think. Ratzon Elam Erfil. So how does the Talmud Peh? Saying the lumdus is, the Avon of it is that, like saying is that in Ratzon there's two in Yodim when we speak about Ratzon. The Nefesh is Nimshat to a certain thing. So there's two in Ratzon. One in Ratzon is that before the person wanted, the nefesh was ba'atzmah. It wasn't a true of meshicha to something. The nefesh was ba'atzmah. You say Ratzon l'bayis. Before the person was this area of Ratzon l'bayis, the nefesh the nefesh was mufshit from the inyan of bayis. Shas Oliver said the bayis, so he became attached to this musik. He has an urge to this inyan. That's one Indian Ratzon. That there's a chiddush to Gabi the nefesh. That the nefesh now has this meshicha l'bayis. But there's another Indian in Ratzon that now the nifal, the davar, has a makar, is needed. Before the person wanted the thing, the thing wasn't needed. Now through the Ratzon, the zach is gevar azafas medar. So in the Lamata both come together. But in the Ma'il and the Nimshal, Ratzon Elam is the einzige uf of Ratzon Elam is the Gabi the etzem. That now it is not even that he has a Ratzon l'bayis. But not that bias is needed. Mashiach Ratzon Goli, the Zachal is needed. Yeah, this pratim, it's not neged Prati at Bamber, that's not Ratzon Goli, but that's I'm saying this is a English chance. But let's know what Hashem Shach about. But let's know what Batz Musa, you know them the Gam, and Shanel Gam the Gabi. He himself doesn't feel the Ratzon the Mel. So other Ratzon the Bayis. Cholam Yeshkem said Etzem Nafsh Gam Sheini there is a Yeshli Ratzon the Bayis. He said again Etzem Tziyus. The Etzem is higher than Hergish Tfisa. So the etzem is munach, is muchlet, a connection to Bayis or a connection to Pluk.
Doesn't say the Ratzon. He doesn't feel it.
The etzem and nefesh is beyond feeling. Feeling is really when the thing has an expression. So that comes in a certain tfisa, it's a certain seal. The etzem is beyond description, beyond when you're anything that you experience in your nefesh. Already the nefesh the way it comes into dealing the heritage. That's already a certain seal, a certain tfisa. The etzem itzias kameshi is beyond his gavus, beyond heritage.
So what is the Ratzon?
Kol mishen abayis and yadam. An adam but etzem itziyus is connected to bayis. It's not the regular musik of Ratzon. There's an urge for bayis. It's a different. It's not two separate things. An urge means there's the person and there's the etzem ohus and it's nimshach to something. Two ifanim being nimshach. Nimshach is that it's not about the thing. What the Ratzon Elam is, the only thing that matters is what type of person he is. That's the way the figure was of the Ratzon Elam. Ratzon Elam, a regular person, is pastem zayin melech. Ish menuseh pastem zayin melech. So the chiddush of Ratzon Elam is legabi him, that is azam a certain mensch which malchus suits him. The pile mamash that they should be in a tnu of meshichet or something. That's already a lower level. That malchus literally should be needed. So then it's not the luft of the Ratzon is not only legabi the gabi. Only the gabi nefesh, also the gabi that the thing is demanding. That is already a lower target. That's what's involved. That's another one that the nefesh is mufshat from a shaykhis to a davish in bachutz. He wants, but the whole uft of him wanting is only that his definition is that he's a man. See, someone wants to, you see, when you want something, so it means the thing is wanting. That's a lower target. The higher target is that there's no tefillah smagan to anything outside of the nefesh himself. What's the nekuda of Ratzon in that target? That was for a mensch is there that malchus suits him, or that learning suits him, that abayis suits him. In the Shalom, most of the time is about the etzem is mufshit to mashaychas to azulas, and the more there's a little bit symptom, the more there's a tefillas makom, the more there's a need, the more shaykh to say that something else is gonna be mashlim. So the darkest is the chassid says mashal meichid is muvdal, and midas is a person understanding something. So a person can understand whatever he wants. It's not going to change his mode. Why? Because the nefesh is the way the nefesh is mitzad atzmei. Things outside of him don't affect it. Don't change his mode. Midas is already a lower target that their dvarashim b'chutz could have an impression on. So there's Ratzon Elam is with the nefesh is in a deeper target, and there a dvarashim b'chutz has no tfisas mode. The ganze zach of malchus is only prat in what type of person he is. There's a certain mensch that would suit him to be a melech. There's a certain mensch that would suit him to have a bias. The pile mamish that he should be in a mode of needing something that's already lower than. That's what's in goal. Yeah, this prat advar. They're saying mamish the town to say. Huh?
So then Ratzon Buchot is.
The smoch is beyond heritage b'chol. It's another Indian. The etzim is beyond fisa. Here there's already a heritage as a pashtem zayin melech. So that's a musik of malchus that has a certain izgalus, a certain tfisa. He's a type of person which suits him to be a melech. In Ratzon Elam, say a person, it's already nirgash that there's a certain advantage in bias. Mitzad the etzim, it's not about the advantage in bias. The etzim ha'adam is the etzim connected to bias. It's a whole different, it's another Indian. It's higher than the tfisa b'chlal. I'm not focusing, a little bit better to go to what we want to bring up with this man, this year. So one chilik is going to get to Poil. The Ratzon Elam is mufshit from Poil, and the Ratzon Gali demands the reality of the Poil of a Bayis, or of a Melech. That's one. Nach a chilik for Ratzon Gali, this is the main thing which is going to get the Hepshach Maamar here. Nach a chilik that the Seder is Ratzon Gali, or this was Losak. They were saying they get to Nimshach. They get to the Mashal also. A Melech, the figure says that before he becomes a Melech, he has to first have a Ratzon Elam. It means first he has to have in his nefesh. He has to have this hesken that malchus suits him. Someone that the whole concept of malchus hates a cheshtam by him, so the hachtara sa'am, the bittul ha'am, won't be me'ered him, a ratzon menucha. There's a ratzon to be a shabbat, a ratzon for power. A ratzon for menucha is edel a ratzon that is a certain ratzon to lead a country. It's a ratzon which stems from bittul, not a ratzon that he wants to overpower anybody. It's a ratzon that he wants to dedicate himself to. It's an edel a ratzon. In order to have such a Ratzon Menucha, first he has to have a Ratzon Elam. He has to first, as I'll say, behesken by him, that it suits him to be Elam. And then, usually, the Ratzon Elam won't be nimshach in a Ratzon Elam. So the Ratzon Lebayis, the person has a Ratzon Lebayis, that's an option. The Noch wird from them a Ratzon Elam Lebayis, and then without anybody being murdered. So wird nimshach a Ratzon Gali, a demand for a Lebayis. By Menucha, in order for the melech to have a factual rotzen, a drisha, a reveal zayna melech l'poil, the am has to be murdered. The bittul by the achtar is meirim a rotzen gali l'much. Without the bittul am, the melech will never want the pel mamash l'much. That's just in malchus and every other thing. Everything begins with a rotzen mitzad etzem nefesh. But the nefesh mitzad atzmei functions in a way that la'achri there's a rotzen, and then the person wants it, and then it affects his keches. Mashegem by malchus. A Ratzon L'Mlucha cannot be an oefen of Ratzon Gadi L'Mlucha without the Am being married. Zeh the Seder Adon. So Eichel v'Ras Nagol Rasnan Elon, Shais Elis, Ras Nagol V'Deis Rus Adeish is from Kaplan, Malchus Yivchar, Mavakshim Lecholam Kol B'Cholas. What's we get the same man? Hemshel Toshin. Ras Nagol, if you get these three daggers from Ras, is different things. There's Ras Namuchel B'Atzmus, that's Chilas Atzmus, that he should be a melech. There's the Ras Nelam, which is an air which is higher than Shaykh's Lezulas, and then there's the Gila Atzmi that are different. Tzimtzum Air Shaykh Lezulas. Ras Nagol L'Muchel. This Ras Nagol is only this air through the bittul of it. This is the point that's being the marshal. In order for the melech to have a ratzin to be a melech, a regular ratzin, you have a demand. The nevesh is not sort of that it has a demand, an urge to be a melech. It's lacking without a melech, a ratzin gadol l'mucha. That could only be nis'ayr through the aveda b'yim. Because me'ayr b'yim a ratzin gadol l'mucha. So eerst ratzin gadol l'mucha, this is close up. This is not what the Rebbe spoke before we get to Machshava Hatzim Sinyan. This is the Rebbe saying, wie wird der Rebbe der melech? Durch dem, was Jeden seine Mevah, that comes through a Shus Losat. Shus Losat, where this Erde Ratzin Gadol L'Mucha. Huh? Yes. I'm saying, how dare, like I say, when you get to the Melech with the Medina, that before, if what's Me'er about the Melech Ratzin Gadol L'Mucha, the Hachtar of that, Inyan Zeh, so here it is, Inyan Zeh, das ist noch ein Prat, steht da in Toshin Gimel, that Inyan Zeh, she says, Ratzin Gadol L'Mucha, Shus Losat, you can't be Tchilas Abriyah. Tchilas Abriyah, and say there was no Zulas. Zvish, so Mechore, that's what the Gemara Tchilas Abriyah. The Ratzin Emlech, which eventually came to, Sabas Elul, so Mechore, the Ratzin Gadol was Eren Yatzu. And then sagt der Friede Gerebi nicht, dass es kam upon. That them was also in of a Shus Losat. Während der Ere gewinnt, in Elukus, a Ratzin Gadol L'Mucha, the Aved, the Lamata of Ayib. There was no immediate. Tchilas Abriyah, there was no Metzias Abriyah. Don't say the Chassidus, so it's a ratzon, hoya, the Allah's man, they obey. The Chassidus makes a dogma that the Rab is Mishayr. We don't have this in the Mashal. The Mashal, you say someone could imagine to himself. There's no Talmud that's asking him, no Mekabal that's Me'er ben Cheshek Lashkir. But he envisions, as Kilot is a Mekabal, and the envisionment of the Mekabal, that's Me'er by him, or Ratzon L'Much. There was no Yidden yet. But Allah is not an Eibis, the Eibis had Metzayah given Kaviyachal, the time that he's going to have through Avedas Tzadikim. He envisioned the Avedas Tzadikim, and the Avedas Tzadikim had been married. They weren't the Lapayel, so the Tziyur, or the envision, the Oleg Machshavte, the time actually is adding Avedas Tzadikim, and doesn't marry when Ratzin Gadol L'Mucha. So the Ratzin Gadol didn't come because Ervil Zayin Amadas. It's not gekommen von him. It came because the bittul of a Yid had him genommen. Same way you say in the Mashal by Achtar, the bittul ha'am affects the melech, makes an impression on it, and wants to do it. There's a little bit of Chobas Sabri. The Aveda Vayid had him genommen. There was no Aveda Vayid. He envisioned the time that he's going to have when a Yid's going to do Aveda. And this time that he envisioned he's going to have when he does Aveda, that was Me'er the Ratzin should be a melech. So they're saying the Seder Advarim of the Ratzin Gadol L'Mucha, but it's always come through the Aveda V'Tach, through the Aveda Vayid. Remember, this is already a different attachment, not the same meaning as before. The meaning before is Machshava Atzmis, the Atzmis L'Razul, it's such a lower dark of meaning. It's kind of beautiful to this Muslim meaning. So, they should all of these work at times, she's on this thing, not a Kol Tzadik, and yet the Yid, they zen is Ere Ratzin Gadol L'Mucha. Dubas, Melech Vasim Adam, Sharatzin Gadol L'Mucha, is Ere Adei Achtar L'Sam. Okay. Ash Enke, this is Ratzin Anela, das wird von sich allein. Oh, now this is important. This is important. So, wie kommt this at the Pashtus? Till now, the Pashtus kommt is how is it in the Mashal? The Mashal, there's biyudim why, in order for the Melech to have a Ratzin Gadol L'Mucha, is that through that. I'm thinking about asking, why did he get to other Ritzainus, regular Ritzainus? No, and you don't need a tach in the Me'er the Ratzin for Rabbayis. It begins with the Etzma Nefesh of Ratzin L'Mucha Rabbayis, and then it evolves into Ratzin Gadol Rabbayis. By Menucha Nishtas. The only way for the Melech, the only thing the Melech Rabbi said that's is Heskin that Melech suits him to be a Melech. But L'Pel Mamish, he should have a active urge to be a Melech. That's not Shaykh without the Am being the Am. Hachtaras Am does Ruf Tareis the Ratzin L'Mucha. So Tareis says the Nimshal L'Mayla. A Ratzin Gadol L'Mucha L'Lukus comes by the only through Aveda Sara. Aveda Sara was not there through being Mitzayir the time that he's going to get from Aveda Sara. That's going to be married to the Ratzin Gadol. Okay. So in the Mashal, the Pashas Dvarim is because Ratzin Gadol is already a lower target, and the only way to evoke this target is through the Achtar Asam. Whatever the Biyurim or why Malchus or anything else. But the Biyurim of Pashtas is Rotzen Goli is already a lower darga. The Rotzen Elam is Elokus is Mufshit to Meshachas B'Mitzis. And that's this Eir Me'atzim. Sheikh and Rotzen Goli is a lower darga. So Rotzen Goli is this Eir through Avedis Adam. But then the Figur Raz is upward. It says Mavarsham, the Zeh Shadei Suslo Satan Yisrael Rotzen Goli. He says, Ayid bet, B'mei Rishim Lechol and Kol Yichoy Decha. We're Me'eir Rotzen Goli, Lifnat Tzimtzum Me'eir Rotzen Goli. This Eir Rotzen Goli Lifnat Tzimtzum is Mitzad this Suslo Satan Yid. So if you think says, it's not shaykh to say that the Aveda of the Yid Mitzad Atzmei, a Yid's Aveda, by the Hoden sich der Meile as a Ken Em Onri. Say, ich say, brings a dogma, you have a Melech va'am, so the Am is a Noshim Be'erke. So the Melech is not, because Be'en Arech Shalei Be'erech va'am, and the Am is not Shalei Be'erech lower. So the shaykh to say that the Aveda Sa'am, the Rach Torah, and their Cheshik V'rotzen, that they should be their Melech, that's Me'erim V'rotzen L'mur. That's like what it says. Mashiach that the Nimshal are saying that through this is Sat of a Yid, or Ma'er by in a Lukus and Ein Sof, or Ratzna Godel Lumu. It's not Atzmos, it's an Eir, but a Nibra with Ein Sof is Shloime Erev Salazeh. So this brings the Dugma, they can have a Riba Numalim are going to come in front of a person and they're going to stretch their hands out, I don't know, they want to. It's Kleppish, someone has to say joke. So, I just remember something joke. But, Esher sagt, the Dugma is. But man sagt es einmal, wenn es ein Snagel, das ist ein starker Ton, die immer bitte. Starker Ton in die Maschme und so. Man gar nicht. He worked on it very hard. And once he went out of his medrash, and he saw, when he went out, they said he saw a cat picking itself up on the back feet as he was stretching itself as a motion to the cat. He said, you can sit down. So Mensch liegt da sehr viel in sich. He thinks that anybody that's standing up, sure it's for him. But the good about him is that it could be a little funny if I act out the cat more practice. You gewollt Meir than But the good about him is that Sarjibi Nimaldim, so sometimes the cat standing up is that behem is geweest wie meisif haders kovet. And it's nicht scheiches Mitzis. So al der zeh, Yid zesus lo sat es pillen on kust, in a rev zel zeh, it's not no shaykhs klal. So viel goes in fire, the zeh shal zesus lo sat, and say that's the goal, the einzim set mas zesus lo sat, and say that's. Genu bro in a rev gabe be. So gamle gabe gabe that's not goal. Here it's not like in the mashal, the melech, the darga of that's not goal is be'erech. He said like this is begins to make mitzvah. In the darga of meichin azulas is not the small. The darga of midas azulas is the small. Or there is it. Ratzna Nelam is the way in Sof is moved from Shakras. Ratzna Goli has a Shakras. In the Nimshal, the Lukus and the Shaykh to say that in Ratzna Goli, which is Ein Sof Shluf Nat Tzimtzum, the Aveda Vayid Lamata, Aveda Sadiq, Min Nimlach, that's Pale Lamayla Ratzna Goli Lamluch, Ein Arich Bidul Beir. Flatsch kann man Ratzna Goli Beir, so Shluf Nat Tzimtzum, was Achat Tzimtzum, Flat is Shluf Nat Tzimtzum. Oh, so what did the Friedrich ever say? Does Gufa that Aveda saw Aveda Sodom is Me'er. We're not saying Aveda Sodom. Does go for that Aveda Sodom is Me'er in a Lukus, or that's in Lucha, the Fishakein Oliver, it's in Israel, but that's not an Ella. Ulamali is the Shkein Huchla, but that's not Mucha, that's Musi, she's Rus, but Sata to Eder, so that's not Goli. What's the saying here? What's Oliver, that's not Mucha, that's Musi? What's the Pchilas Atzmus, in other words? The Pchilas Atzmus is that the Avedas Ha'adam Zol Me'er is. Wie soll werden am Melech, mit dem, was that the Adam should make him a Melech. That's good for the Pchilas Atzmus. What the thing we bring the passion in the Maamar is the fact that the Shtalshlus was created in a way, or the Eir is built in a way, that the Aveda, so Adam, Rufta Mareis, because Kach, all of Ratzna Nelam is, and what the Ratzna last time it should be a Melech. That the fact that it should be a Melech, soll der Tacht in Meir sein. They soll the Machnam. So because Kach Huchlat, and in Atzos, such I have to say, how could it be that he's not moved? So Kach Oliver Tzene, it's Beratzna Nelam. Whatever says even higher, it's too dark. But Kach Oliver Beratzna Nelam, that's Moshe. That there's no Gdar. Such I have to say that he's Mugder, that he has to be beyond it. There's no Gdar at all. Kach Oliver Beratzna Nelam, that Avedas, as Shustal Sata Vayid, doesn't matter. That's the. What they're saying in other words is Kach Huchlat, that a Yid being Mekayim a mitzvah, that should make him a Melech. Kach Huchlat, but that's not. The Bechira is not in a Yid where Yid has no Shaykhis to mitzvahs. In them, the Ratzam Batnusi is that the Kiyum HaMitzvah of a Yid doesn't limit it, doesn't have a problem. Let me see the problem. So this is from the Friedrich. Is it the Shloime? So I say Pashtus comes out. I mean, in the mashal, why is it that you have to have this Avedis Ha'adam, the Achtaras Ha'am, in order for the Melech to have a Ratzim going? That's the Teva Advarim. The Teva Advarim is that the Melech won't be Nis'er in the Ratzim to lead the Am without, if you could just view it in the mashal, without the Am awakening it, without the Am being machted. But L'mayel, the Saibis Adam is being Melech. For was is es eingestellt geworden, als er Seder, der Davke der Avedis Ha'adam tut durch Ratzim Agodi? Because Kach Bocha, Kach Ole B'Ratzim Amuchel. So they're saying, so what's the Stamazay, the Yivchar wants a Yid, the Yivchar wants a Melech. If Ratzim Amuchel is to be a Melech, Zol Zayin a Melech. What's this Indian that, what's the Bechira that a Yid should be married? It sounds like there's coming on. There's one Indian that Yivchar will Zayin a Melech. He wants to have a Shakar Yid. And another Indian that he wants that a Yid should be married. So the Rebbe is going to say our Taich to explain that it's not two in Yom. It's not as a random, the Yivchar has Ratzim L'Lucha, and another Prat that a Yid should be married. This line, I think, explains the word of Machshava. The Shloime, Zeh Shehuchot Ratzim Amuchel, Shesei Des Ratzim Agol, Tiyal Yisrael Slo Sata Davke, Ubechdei Shmalchus Yisbarach Ala Elul, Mestiyah Gam Tzavayit. ועל דרך כמישהו במחוץ דערה, על ידי שמחוס נאסי זה יחתור העם, שים דוס המלך המלך, ביטול העם למלך מצד המציאות שלהם. No, it's not so easy to touch the here, but what they're saying is, what's, you say, all they're saying, I know Emlich. Al derech is saying in Malchus Da'ara. What's the musig of Malchus? The musig of Malchus is not, Memshala is that you have an alien, which he controls, or he's a menusa on the tachten, while Eretz misnasig. He is Maamar himself. That's not Malchus, that's Memshala. Malchus is that the Am from their accord were mekabel on themselves that they want to be about themselves. That's the Indian of Malchus. So, what's the Ratzon Atzis? There's a Ratzon Amuchel Batzmus, it's a Zayin Melech. What's made Malchus? Malchus means that the Tachten is a Meir. That's the Musik of Malchus. It's not, you say, why is that this famous Rizzer spoke it off this one of the days, why there has to be a Veda? The Eivish is the Teva Tev Lehete. He had Mashpiyas and all the Tev without a Yid Zaved. Different B'Yurim. Here the Rebbe is saying, what's the Ratzon Amuchel Batzmus? The way in the Nosar of Friedrich Zayim. So Ratzon Amuchel Batzmus Liyas Melech. The Ratzon of Enam Emlech, the three Dargis, Ratzon Goli, Ratzon Elul. So Ratzon Amuchel Batzmus Liyas Melech. What's made Malchus? Malchus means that a Zulas, from his point of view, searches what wants to be Mizbah to you. Thus made Malchus. So Ratzon Amuchel Batzmus Liyas Melech. What's his Liyas Melech? That their Am Zol Meir is. The Am is searching out. Not that he should be. Not that they should be buckled to him because his Indian is beginning. Because from their point of view, they come to that Kar Mitzad Atzmon that Zedul and Zechibur get himself. So that's what Malchus is. It's not two separate things. There's a Ratzon Amuchel Batzmus Liyas Melech. The way it comes to Friedrich Zayim is, there's Ratzon Amuchel Batzmus Liyas Melech. And then the Neisel is a Oliver Tzayne that Vers Alama Eider Zayin, Ratzon Agoli, and this Eider Zayin should be a Yid. They're saying it's not two in Yanam. What's the Ratzon Amuchel Batzmus Liyas Melech? Malchus is that the bittul that the Am macht damit. That's the Pshat Malchus. That the Am macht damit. What's the advantage? And the advantage is that there says in the brackets. The bittul Am Melech that should be mitzad their mitzias. The bittul Am Melech should be mitzad their mitzias is bittul. If the fact that they're bittul is because the emes is mayor by them, so then felt the bittul tzalakus. That the bittul is inside the Eli, not that that's the gather mitzias itself. And the Ratzon that should be derivative after the Ratzon for the Yivchar's Malchus should be Nesgala in Elovade. B'Shleimus is that the Metzias HaTachten should be both. So that's the Machshava Atzmus B'Dover Anidva. That was nennt Atzmus the Bittul Mitzad der Metzias. That's nennt Atzmus. If it's only Mitzad, the Bittul of the Neshama is was nicht stark in Metzias, because L'chatchil home Metzias is B'chilas Atzmus, felt in the Bittul. Then das nennt nicht der ganze Rätsel, so to speak. Was nennt der ganze Rätsel? The Machshava Atzmus is dafür Dover Anidva. Why dafür Dover Anidva? If the Bittul of a Yid is was nicht stark in Zah, because L'chatchil der Eibishter is home Metzias, so then Herzach nicht that there's a, but the Tachtim is at his Indian himself. The Tachtim is at his point of view is a Metzias. Was Amidas Indian is that the fact that there's only him is from every angle, even mitzad the metzias of it, and from their point of view, not mitzad the being made, from their point of view, was suchen sie, what's mitzad their